Democrats are eyeing more congressional districts to win during the 2026 midterm elections, folks. The battle for the United States House of Representatives is heating up as the early Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, or the DCCC, has officially expanded its target list for the 2026 midterms this week. National Democrats have added 5 Republican-held districts to their offensive map, bringing the total number of seats that they are actively eyeing to 44. This is an aggressive expansion that is signaling that the party sees a visible path to reclaiming the majority, especially as they look to capitalize on the shifting public sentiment following the 2024 election cycle. In regards to Minneapolis, in regards to everything, literally everything that we've been covering in regards to the performative cruelty of the Trump administration, regrettably. And I'm not saying performative cruelty because I'm trying to say, he's out there trying to be a fascist. I'm saying he's putting on a veneer that makes his operations look more aggressive than they are because he hasn't deported the number of illegals that he promised, and he never will be able to, unfortunately. And when people, you'll always hear them go, Obama deported more people than any other president. You're counting turnaways. The majority of the time, turnaways, that doesn't add anything to the count. You cannot count the turnaways at the southern border as deportations. That's ridiculous of you. Anyways, I love to give Obama his credit. I love that he abused the sheriff system and that he got a bunch of them out. I love that. And I think that we should go back to a similar system where we don't have to get ugly videos. We don't have to get the scenes of ICE, acting aggressively, unfortunately, because it is an aggressive job and they're going to get aggressive with people who get aggressive with them. It's unfortunate. No one's in favor of it. I'm not in favor of it. You're not in favor of it. No one wants, military action level. But obviously, if you drive forward when there's, a person in front of your car and you hit them, it's not great. It's really not great. You know what I mean? And obviously, in regards to the Renee Good shooting, I go, yeah, I kind of see why it happened. And unfortunately, that's just always been my take. And if you don't like it, that's okay. We don't have to agree on that. You can say that she was just a mother of 3 who was walking down the street and got shot. That's okay. But we can acknowledge that, like, the Alex Preddy thing, that one was another situation where you go, having 6 guys on somebody and then having someone yell gun, very confused, loud situation. Was Alex Preddy a sort of aggressive person in the past? Well, the taillight kicking out thing didn't make him look too great. Admittedly, let's be honest with us, he's not the most peaceful individual. He spits at them and shit like that. And that woman that was being detained by ICE, he got in the middle. He tried to make himself it was a completely avoidable situation, and my sympathies are, as a result, limited to Alex Preddy and Renee Good. They were silly billies who got themselves into the situations that they did. Doesn't mean that I think that they deserve to die. I feel like that is such a great opinion that everybody looks at and gets so mad about, though. That is my favorite thing on this show, is coming up with the perfect opinion that is just like, it's so even-minded and decent and, oh yeah, the law is the law, but also, like, people don't deserve to die in every situation. That's so hard to get mad, and if you'll look silly if you get mad at me for that. You'll look silly, and that's okay. That's okay. I love you guys. But let's continue. Democrats are eyeing more congressional districts. Let's watch this CBS clip.
The Democratic Party is expanding the number of congressional districts it's looking to win in this year's midterm elections. This morning, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee unveiled 5 additional districts it is targeting this November. You see them highlighted here, which brings the total number of districts considered in play by the party to 44. Republicans currently hold a slim majority of 218 to Democrats 214. This is in the House of Representatives. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us from the White House with a look at how the president could approach the midterms. Ed, good morning. Traditionally, a president's party suffers during the midterm elections, especially in their second term. So what is Mr. Trump's strategy? How optimistic might he and his team feel 9 months out?
Probably not great.
Well, first of all, if maybe we can bring back that map with those 5 new districts just to give you a sense of how bullish Democrats are now feeling about this. Once they start talking about making races in Montana, southern Minnesota, south side of Virginia, and that first district of South Carolina competitive, they're starting to smell something in the water that suggests they've got a shot here at not only taking the majority, but possibly stretching into the double digits, which would be quite something given the narrow margins we've had in the House the last few years. So how does the president counteract this? Well, first of all, he's been spending the last several months telling people he knows the history, as you mentioned, Errol, that second-term presidents suffer in this first midterm election of their second term. And in essence, he's doing that to scare the base and to say, remember, you've got to show up to vote to keep this momentum going. He talked about this in a Fox Business interview that's airing later today. Take a listen.
Let's hear it.
The greatest economy actually ever in history.
I love
we
it.
have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Anywhere, ever, maybe,
We're
ever.
the hottest country in the world. I guess I have to sell that because we should win in a landslide, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
The issue is, if he has to be saying that, is it indeed the hottest country? Is the economy really booming? You look at recent CBS News polling, like the one we released last week, survey suggests no. Americans don't think the economy's that hot right now. They
The majority.
don't think that they're going to be better off than previous generations. They don't think it's easy to find a job. That's going to require quite a sales pitch from the president.
Indeed.
Going into November this year, Harold.
Oi, oi, oi. Republicans in general are trying to, they're calling it daydreaming. The National Republican Congress Committee was quick with a pushback. They're arguing that the DCCC is overreaching into solid GOP strongholds where local candidates won by double digits in the last elections. Despite the bravado from both sides, nonpartisan analysts have noted that Democrats only need a net gain of a few seats to flip the House, which is true. They only lead with 3 as of right now, the Republican seating. So as primary season is beginning to take shape, we're going to expect to see a lot of national funding and campaign activity. I cannot wait. I hope that we can avoid assassination attempts. That would really kind of cloud the waters, you know what I mean? The 2024 election, that was not a fun time, admittedly. And I think that I don't know if the 20s will be remembered as a time of political fervor or much like the 60s and 70s. I don't know if it's going to be remembered as a time where candidates are getting shot, people are dying in the streets, activists might be getting shot. I don't want that to be the case, but unfortunately, it's kind of happening. You know what I mean? I hope that we can get our shit together. And midterms don't generally tend to excite as much emotion as the normal elections, admittedly, because most of these people do not vote in the midterms. I've asked many millennials, Gen X, and boomers. They go, sorry, not the midterms. I barely vote in the presidential elections. I can't tell you how goofy the fuckers. I've never understood them ever in my life, the people who choose not to vote. Never in my life. I understand that it's out of laziness or out of disinterest or out of complete and utter fucking and they're the same people that go either fuck America, you know what I mean? They have no appreciation for anything. They have a grandpa who fought in the military, so they think they understand what this country's about because their grandpa told them something one time, and they go America's about freedom for everybody, and that's what I died for. And it's you've known one guy. You've known one guy, and you've had no experience outside of your whatever bumpkin town that you've arisen from, folks. It's just, but let's be honest. Let's be really honest, people. They're the first to lecture you about what freedom means, but they will never vote. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I've known many of these people where they've been alive since maybe the 70s, 80s, 90s, the 60s, the 50s, you know what I mean? It's a solid age group where you guys are in control. You guys have been running the world, and you mean to tell me that some of you fuckers haven't even been voting? And they'll have the audacity to go, I've been figuring out my life. I've been figuring out, you kids, really? That's the best excuse you can come up with, is just that you were figuring it out? You lived through the Clinton years. You guys ate up the most that this country ever had to offer. You ate up when Wendy's was the best that it was. I'm sorry to say it. And you enjoyed the fruits of the labor of the generations before you, and you didn't bother to appreciate the things that they gave you. And you didn't bother to appreciate the right to vote. I have never missed one election since I have attained the right to vote. And I will never, ever understand the generations of people who have gone, who's running? Like, goddamn, you do not deserve the privilege of citizenship. I understand that people will go, it's a right. It's not, it shouldn't be to some of you fuckers. This is obviously a joke. We're going down a tangent. Some of you fuckers have never appreciated it. You never will. And it's a shame on you. Shame on you as an American. As an American, you can say, I've paid my property taxes. Yeah, well, you never engaged in the responsibility of citizenship. Shame on you.
For the first time since the shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, the heads of 3 key immigration agencies testified in Washington, D.C.
They vowed to release the body camera footage of Preddy's shooting. However, they all refused to answer specific questions about either shooting, citing the ongoing investigations. Republicans on the committee asked them about the role of protesters threatening agents and the rhetoric and decisions of local leaders. Democrats on the committee grilled the witnesses about the agents' conduct and the treatment of U.S. citizens.
Are you surveilling U.S. citizens today?
No, sir.
Those people practicing this First Amendment right?
Not all of them are practicing their First Amendment right. It's not your First Amendment right to kick out taillights or spit at officers. It's not your right to block up their activity. You got to be honest. You have to be honest. A lot of these people that are tearing lockboxes from the backs of police vehicles, that's not peace. It's not peaceful protest. It's not. And those people deserve to be thrown on the ground and thrown in handcuffs because they are actively, they're pushing for more chaos in the city. And I keep telling people, you're not making your side look any better when you sit in the streets blowing whistles or trying to record ICE agents. You're not helping anybody. You will always make your side look like the fool, unfortunately.
Because of them, data taken, they're not being placed in any kind of a database?
There is no database for protesters, sir.
Well, that's a
Many
lie.
who have been detained by federal agents don't believe that.
Some of those agents have even told observers they're tracking their IDs and license plates. A new report shows hundreds have been prosecuted for interfering. And as Jason Ramsler reports, some of those charges...
I like how CBS News Minnesota, they go... There are hundreds of constitutional observers that have been charged with impeding feds amid ICE surge. They put interfering in quotations as though these people were not engaging in activity that actively impeded the investigations that these people were doing. It's ridiculous. No one can be commonsensical about this. You will talk to Democrat people and they will go, nope, no. Every situation is an innocent American who did nothing. And I've watched the video. I saw the they go video. They go video because they've seen one video. They don't look at it from different angles. They don't think about it for fucking 5 seconds that, hey, officers don't operate in slow motion the way that you do, the way that you wish they could. And then they will proceed to go, no. Alex Preddy did nothing to deserve the shots. He did nothing to deserve any sort of police pushback. That he was saving that woman from what? Getting arrested? He was saving that woman from an investigation from federal officers. When you word it the way that it actually is, it doesn't sound very good. And I think that's why they won't word it the way that it is. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine and reasonable. Let them sit in their bubble because eventually they'll wake up or they'll die that way. And then guess what? Their votes won't matter. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Let the ignorant be ignorant. I've always said that. Anyone who is not open-minded enough to admit that their ideas may be wrong, anyone who is not open-minded enough to question the ideology that is fed to them through their algorithms, blind Republican, blind Democrat, anyone who is not willing to question something, I don't need to listen to you. You're not a person. You're an automaton. You're an NPC. You're not a real thing. You're just a mouthpiece for one side. And I don't need to listen to you. I don't need to listen to you because you're not a real person.
are questionable.
Becky Ringstrom was following federal immigration officers in her Blaine neighborhood last month. Then they approached her car.
That's not a right, by the way. That's not peaceful protest. Following officers in your car that's not a protest. It's not a protest.
Ringstrom says she went the other way, turning back home. Then, she says, several minutes later, federal officers stopped and arrested her.
Once they started to tap on my windshield, I did make the decision that I would roll down my window. And as soon as I did that, the agent on my driver's side reached in and unlocked my door himself. They just told me that they were going to extract me from the vehicle.
Ringstrom was taken to the Whipple building, where an officer gave her a citation charging her under a federal law that criminalizes impeding law enforcement.
Becky Ringstruck, please contact my child. I will never stop believing that what happened on that day was nothing more than them trying to scare us.
According to Reuters, the Trump administration has prosecuted at least 655 people for interfering with federal agents since city-by-city enforcement began last summer. They report that's more than double the previous year.
Hey, get back. You guys need to stay back.
WCCO has covered multiple instances of federal officers arresting observers. I asked defense attorney Joe Tamburino if following law enforcement is against the law.
But if what you're dealing with is simply someone who's following an ICE car,
it's not what most of these people are doing.
A safe distance away, I don't see a violation of any statute.
Of course.
If we don't show the world what's happening, people will continue to think that this is like just something small, and it's not. It's not. If anything, things are escalating even further.
Jason Rantola, WCCO News.
In response to Ringstrom's arrest, DHS told Reuters that she stalked law enforcement and attempted to obstruct law enforcement from performing their sworn duties.
She was a dumbass who followed federal agents in her vehicle. That's not a smart move. That's asking for something bad to happen. I don't know if this is just because I have, 1% Congo in me, or I have 14 or whatever percent Central American, but my colored people side is telling me, hey, comply or fucking leave them alone. Leave them alone. The white people in me is kind of going like, yeah, I know that they'll not actually do anything to me because I'm white. I know that if I do anything, if anything, I'll get out of the jailhouse the next day. But the colored person in me is going, hey, maybe it's just not the best idea to be following law enforcement. Maybe that's just the smart person in me. I'm going to be honest. I credit it with the colored person going like, hey, be smart about it. It doesn't matter what color you are. If you're following law enforcement officers with your car, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You have no right to do that. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to do. It's a ridiculous thing to do on their part. And and every time that you catch somebody doing this, it makes the left look insane. And I hate the fact that it keeps happening. It keeps happening. But you know what? As a liberally minded individual, I will go, hey, this isn't going to hurt them in the midterms. As a matter of fact, every one of these Robin Hood characters that they fucking get is going to make them actually look better. As a matter of fact, the Democrats, I predict it's not going to be a sweep. It's not going to be a blue wave. It's not going to be whatever it is. They're going to win. They're going to win the majority in the House, maybe the Senate. I don't know. In all honesty, I just see this turning out not good for Democrats in a few years from now. When we look back on this for the 2028 election, I don't feel as though we're going to look back and think, oh, yes, all of those individuals that were kicking out taillights, all of those people that were, engaging in poor behavior with federal ICE agents, maybe they did deserve it a little bit. Maybe they did deserve to be taken down by the police to some extent. Not taken down as in death, but maybe taken downtown, maybe arrested. That would have been a good idea. Driving forward in your car also isn't a great idea. When we're talking about ideas on the show, ladies and gentlemen, I just had to take another sip of coffee because we got more stuff to talk about.